Hi, welcome to the Red Cord Tarot. I'm Nikita, and today we are doing a different kind of video. The thing is, those of you who are light workers who have been on this path of ascension or twin flames, or you are a healer, a mentor, a coach, if you are someone who works with animals, plants, who is in you could be a doctor, a nurse, someone who's a caregiver, you are a light worker, right? The good news is, with the process of this ascension, the fledgling, the baby light workers are here, and they're amazing. They have woken up, they have been in the process of their dark night of their soul, and now that they are coming out of their dark night, if you are not familiar with what is the dark night of the soul and you would like me to do a separate video on that, please comment down below and I will definitely do it. The deal is with the baby light workers, I call them babies because, oh my god, they're just starting this journey and they have no idea what's up ahead. And of course, there are times when this journey can become extremely difficult, and that's why we are here to support each other and to make sure that we don't leave any light workers behind in the dust. And so, what are the few things that tell you that you yourself are a light worker? If you are one of those who are just awakening, there are some things that you might have noticed in your life. It is not to say that we all have identical blueprint or template, but you will recognize yourself in some of these situations. Okay, so I wish I had made a list, but let's try and remember the maximum. Number one is having an extremely difficult childhood. Now, this could be because you have some disability, some illness. It could be because your family was different from other parents, being from a quasi family, two separate household families, divorced parents, single mothers. There could have been various reasons. You could be someone who had toxic parents, narcissistic parents, who made everything about them, who wanted you to be the badge of honor, make them proud. They wanted you to live according to their standards, and they're abusive. Now, there are various kind of abuses: physically, which is like hitting or whatever, emotional, sexual, verbal. So if you've had that in your childhood, if you felt, these are all or slash and, right? If you felt misunderstood, that your family just doesn't get you, even if you have siblings, your parents and your siblings seem to be made out of the same material, but you seem to be made of a different fabric, and they found that thing that sets you apart, that makes you different, that would always trigger them, that would always upset them, or they kept trying to make you something that you're not. And you might have tried all your life to try and fit in, tried to make people happy, make them like you, get the approval of your parents. You might have felt unseen, unheard, not understood, and you might have tried then making a family out of your friends. A lot of light workers as youngsters give a lot of importance to their friends because they think, all right, so if my family doesn't accept me the way I am, I rather make my friends into my family. But as you are coming into your awakening and coming into when you will be getting into your life purpose and life mission, you will realize that those friends who you did so much for actually either betray you, or they are disloyal to you, they take you for granted. It's almost like a lesser version, but there's still a rejection. Some are lucky enough to find a couple of friends who do get them, okay, and it might become a long standing relationship, so you become extremely loyal to them. Okay, so difficult childhood also includes having some kind of serious issues like daddy issues or mother issues, and a lot of healing is required in that situation. So I'll come to the healing modalities, hang on. So we light workers are always somehow the black sheep, the outcast, the misunderstood, the rebels, those who just challenge the existing paradigm. So if your parents thought you need to go in a certain stream or you need to study, you could easily be one of those who didn't, who preferred hanging out with friends or your creativity. A lot of light workers also have learning disabilities. They might be dyslexic, they might be labeled ADHD. It's not that they are ADHD, at least not all of them. They just have a lot of energy and their brain can grasp things really, really quickly, most of them. Either or, you can be anywhere on the spectrum. A lot of them are labeled autistic. Okay, then you might have had some weird spiritual experiences as a child, as a teenager, that you cannot explain. Strangers opening up to you, telling you the entire life story, or sharing their grief when they're going through something. You being the go-to person for your friends, you being the mediator for that very family who doesn't like you. You are the one who actually ends up settling the arguments and stuff. People feeling better after talking to you, after hugging you. They might have been when there was height of emotions, if you were angry, if you were unwell, if you were extremely in a mood swing or something like that. They might have been electronics that malfunctioned around you, tube lights or bulbs, they break or get fused all the time around you. Lights flicker when you're there. This is usually when there is your energy is not settled, so heightened emotions of some kind. You are drawn to superhero movies or comics or shows. You can kind of relate with them. You've always had this feeling that you're here for something bigger, and you might have misunderstood it as that you're going to be very successful in a certain career, and thought that that's where you're going to get your fame. And but you have this weird feeling of something, you're destined for something bigger, larger than yourself. And there might have been dreams, you might have gotten premonitions, your intuition could have been very, very strong compared to other people around you, and whenever you ignored it, you kind of will remember. I knew the time when I had something inside me told me carry the umbrella, and I didn't, and then I just got caught in the worst rain shower and my favorite dress got ruined, something like that. You'll have many such anecdotes. You see strange dreams, okay, very vivid dreams, or dreams that might not make sense to you, but they stayed with you for a long time. Now you might not remember them, but you will remember seeing. You might have been a sleepwalker, or someone who talks in their sleep. Please bring it back, what you just told me. You would be someone who liked to make people laugh. You didn't like people around you unhappy, so you tried to, sometimes light workers as children are the clowns of their family, always making jokes, trying to make people laugh, and that makes your family think that you're not serious or that you're always clowning around, whereas what you're trying to do is de-escalate a tense situation or make someone who was unhappy laugh. But even though you might have a full family, you just felt they don't get you. And you might, if you as a child, you might have related better with older people and not your age group as much. You were always ready to help others, opening doors, carrying books, or if volunteer was required, or you might have been in social service, if in your school, Help Age India, or for children, or getting money for certain charities, or you would have been a volunteer in some of those things. As you grow older, you'll suddenly realize it switches. Whereas when you were young, you could only relate with those older to you, and you just found people your age group so frivolous. As you grow up, it will reverse. You'll get along better and better with younger people. And now you will find your age group kind of redundant, set in their ways, very boring. So it's, what other signs could you have experienced as before your awakening, or even if you're awake right now and you are new to this journey? There is this weird, whenever you meet someone, most of the significant people in your life, your best friend or someone, your first love, or there is this weird intensity, a sense of knowing. Oh yes, and you would experience a lot of deja vus in your life. If I use any terminology in this video that you would like me to explain in greater detail and make a separate video for it, please do let me know in the comments down below. There would be this sense of familiarity, and in your life, I'm going to talk from the romantic perspective, and this may not resonate with everyone, but because my channel is about love, romance, twin flame, soulmates, I'm going to use that as an example. There is a lot of people, and you always felt this might be the one, because there's this deep attachment, there's this connection, you feel immediately, you connect, and that. And you might have had multiple love stories, and when you grow older and you're like, oh, that was a crush, I was so infatuated with that person, or that was my high school sweetheart. And the relationships, if you're doing the correct things, if you're healing yourself, if you're learning your lessons, if you're not repeating your patterns, if you're not making the same mistakes, if you're not carrying grudges, if you are doing the things like sitting under trees, you would be someone who loves spending time near the ocean, near the trees, sitting on the grass, looking at the sky, looking at the clouds. And these heal light workers, even as children, they would play a lot with mud, create a lot, they'll be very, very creative. The level of talent might be different, but they would always be up to something, or in the inner world they would be creating a world of their own. They would be lost in their dreams, which makes them wonderful writers. Or they could be into paintings, or they could be into making things with their hand, even electronics or something. So as you start getting older, you will see others collapse. When relationships break down, you do too. You feel things much more intensely than others, but you also might, if you are someone who's supposed to be on a twin flame journey specifically, as a child, you might have related with films about star-crossed lovers. You might have, at least with me, like I knew from a very young age, when I didn't even know what relationships were, I knew there is someone out there for me, and I had this search inside of me. for years. Even when I was in relationships, the search would just not die down. You would have that feeling that there is someone out there for me, and you miss them in your happiest moment or whatever, but that part of you just has a kind of autopilot search. You would give chances to people who you would ordinarily not give a chance to, or they are not your type, or they are not into the things that you're into, but you would still at least hear them out because you have this fear, what if that's my person? Okay. And there is an understanding about love, about what relationships should be like, which is very deep and very different from normal people. And they always would be probably telling you things like, oh, that only happens in movies, or you expect too much from people, or no, you're not going to find anyone who is like that. Your expectations are unreal, these are bookish things, your ideals are bookish, and not just about love, about a lot of things. If you talked about injustice or law or moralities, or why should I hate someone from another religion, you'd be put down, and that might have made you question whether you have been wrong. And now that you are awakening, you're going to realize you were right all along, and everything you were taught was completely wrong. The world was upside down, and the things that they told you to fear and the things you were driven to do, you will have to find that passion again inside of you to restart, to start doing those things, to start believing again in yourself. You will go through lessons on self-love, on forgiveness. You will have a very strange, intimate connection with your personal God. Not religious gods, not rituals or scriptures, although at one time you might have been very religious, following all the rituals, and then you kind of move away from it, and then you establish this one-on-one relationship with your God, and who you might be communicating with, talking with, fighting with, and that is going to get deeper and deeper. And this journey is extremely beautiful. But those of you who are already light workers, this is what you need to do when you recognize a fledgling light worker. Restore their faith in themselves. The tools that you have to share, the spiritual toolkits that I had made earlier on, I'm going to re-record all of them because that was such bad quality. Ho'oponopono is something you have to teach them. The violet flame, how to make their roots, explain to them the chakra system, how to connect with the white light, how to shield themselves, how to smudge and protect, what is affirmations, what is visualizations, law of attraction. Maybe I should redo a workshop that I used to do years ago. And how there are people who are energy vampires, so how to clear energy patches, how to disconnect from cords, how to protect their own energy. Explain to them why self-preservation or self-love is not selfish. Help them to regain their confidence that they are not wrong just because they are different, because they are unique, because their life journey is entirely different from the be born, obey, go to school, obey, go to college, obey, follow the beaten path, be a sheep, the ancestors did it this way, this is our tradition, and you have to do it, and by the time you're this age you have to get married. Before this you have to get a job which you will do and just keep doing, and love is a waste of time, hobbies are a waste of time, having fun is a waste of time, hanging out with friends is a waste of time, everything is a waste of time except this set pattern. And you have to have a job, and then you have to get married, and by this age you have to have children, and by this age you have to have a house and a car, and you have to live to impress your neighbors, your relatives. You have to care about their feelings more than yours. You have to be nicer to strangers who do nothing for you than the person you love. You will be asked constantly to sacrifice your happiness, and it will not resonate with you. So when you meet a fledgling light worker, you have to explain to them why self-care, self-love and healing modalities, not jumping from guru to guru, modality to modality. Stick with one that resonates with you. Go in as deep as you can. Keep practicing till you actually become a master. There are a lot of resources, books that help you, to bounce back to your effervescent self, your positive self, your never say die attitude. There are a lot of things we can discuss on this platform as well. We can do lives, or when we start getting our tears, we can have an entire platform where we can just talk this and help and grow more and more. They are going to be beginning to question a lot of things. And since I just mentioned, the new fledglings are going through the dark night of the soul, and they're just about to start coming out of it. So they might have had falling out with their family, their parents. They might be wanting to leave their family's home and feel, I cannot deal with this anymore. I somehow need to get financially independent so I can live on their own. But they might not be able to get a financial break because their first lesson is to learn the law of attraction, surrendering, the importance of surrendering and not getting hung up of I have to do this, or I have to follow a certain job, or that's my destination. So we have to show them why they need to surrender and teach them the law of attraction, the law of manifestation, so that they can start aligning with what they are supposed to do and get their financial freedom, and so that they can then choose to go take some time out, maybe go off the grid, maybe just get through the isolation. And they are definitely going to feel the loss, the grief. And so you might have to explain to them the process of purging, dealing with grief, how they can heal themselves. You might have to explain to them how crystals can help them, affirmations can help them. So they might have a lot of questions. You might have to explain why light workers are here, what we are here to do. And if they are for example, if they really are someone who want to work in and grow plants and food, or they are about going organic, if they want to be vegan, by the way, if you're a vegetarian, you will have to break the mindset and at least be open to trying it, just at least for a small bit. It's all about breaking any restrictions that you have been conditioned. It was someone else's belief system that was passed down to you. So if you were a pure veg, you will have to kind of open yourself to experimenting with eggs or some amount of minced meat like kebabs or something. And then if you were completely non-vegetarian, you will go the other way. So whatever you started off your life with, you have to then shed all that, everything, literally everything. If you come from a family that says premarital sex is wrong, you will for sure have had premarital sex. If you come from a family that believes divorce is wrong, you'll probably be the first one to get divorced. You are here to break templates, generational templates. You are here to bring an end to curses. generational curses or patterns that have been running in your generations, and that's why your ancestors will support you invisibly. You will have to find your way of communicating with angels. You might have felt lonely a lot in your life. You might have cried out to God. You might, the new light workers or those who are already light workers, when I'm talking, you'd be like, yeah man, before I went on this journey or I started my inner work, my shadow work, this was totally true. It is about you being fragmented, you being being imposed upon with rules and regulations and beliefs and conditions and rituals and traditions which do not resonate with your soul. And a light worker has to hand the charge over back to the soul. You have to connect with your higher self, and for that, not only you have to shed a lot will be taken away from you. In the dark night of the soul, you feel your entire life as you know it ended. There are endings in relationships, long standing friendships. The comfort that you knew is suddenly snatched away. It's like the carpet is just pulled out, the rug is pulled out of under your feet, and you're suddenly broke, you're suddenly alone, you don't know what to do, you don't know who to reach out to. But if you continue keeping the faith, and those who are coming out of this dark night of the soul have managed to do that. It's like, think of it as the entrance exam in the NDA or SAS. In the SAS, that is the Secret Service of Britain, one or two make it out alive out of the 500 or whatever recruits. It's that difficult. So people do fall away because they can't even make it through. This is the first ring of fire. So if you're here, if you're listening to this, congratulations. I know it was tough. You may go through more along your life. This is not the end, it is just the beginning, but it's a very magical journey. There are miracles. You'll meet people with whom you'll have magical relationships. You will be taught the lesson of letting go, of accepting, of soul connections, of extreme pain, of forgiveness, of manifestation, coming to recognize your own spiritual gifts. They are things like clairaudience, clairvoyance, intuition, or healing abilities, or they are multiple things. Someone who can just make plants that are dying, they know how to heal the plants. Some can heal animals, and for that you have to first, of course, complete your healing. You have to again feel whole and complete. You have to start loving yourself, all that. So I know I'm just going in all directions, but those of you, the senior light workers who have been on this path, you can be from the first wave, second wave, third wave, whatever, you might suddenly start meeting and recognizing a budding light worker, and you are being called upon to assist them, to show them the path, to share the tools with them. Be patient, and it is going to be scary for some of them. Some of them are more daredevil than others, but others are very timid, they are introverts, they're very shy, and they don't know what they're supposed to do with these unusual thoughts or desires, or that they have certain abilities, and they might want to just withdraw from the world. They might, okay, another sentence you might have thought a lot is, you want to go home. You don't know what you mean by that, but I want to go home, I want my home. You might have thought that on and off during your life, and that is a really one of the signs, because we are here to assist with the ascension. We are here to complete our pending karmas, bring an ending. That's why you'll have multiple relationships. For example, You have to give what you came here to give to that person, take what you were to take, and bring an end. And you'll move on to the next one, and you'll say, I've had multiple soulmates. And then there are people who start labeling everyone as their twin flames, but you will also meet catalysts, those people who will come in, love you, who will show you what a soul connection is. They will get you started on this journey, and you will start looking up these terminologies. What is shadow work? What is inner work? What do you mean I'll be triggered? What is the difference between crying and purging? And you'll probably go Google and you will come across 10,000 sites, and that will be an exercise for your intuition to not just go and click which has got the maximum views, but the one that you are drawn to, where you're pulled to. There are no accidents. Your mentors, your coaches are assigned to you, and they will know exactly how to bring out the best in you. So you'll have to trust them even when they go silent, or they are testing you, or they give you a difficult chore to do. They will give you homeworks to do. They will test your patience. You have to prove worthy of being their student. So all the best. I will, if there are further questions, let me know. But senior light workers, please assist the baby ones. I'm terribly excited. There's a heads up for those of you who have stayed till this far. Here is your reward. From 18th to 21st is going to be very significant, especially for light workers. The first few waivers, or even the new ones, I don't know, but it's going to be, and you have to be very attentive, because you don't know which way the messages will come to you. There can be signs, synchronicities. You might be sent the person who is going to be your partner for this ascension, your romantic partner for this ascension, not necessarily your twin flame. It might be a soul flame. It might just be a partnership being sent to you because you have cleared your previous baggage. I have done some reading about it as well. That new love will be coming into a lot of your lives, where you are going to go to the next level. You're going to experience things that you have only wished for, perhaps, or been even scared of wishing for. There's going to be a lot of joy and stuff coming, but 18 to 21st, there's going to be a lot of downloads, okay? Around from now till the full moon, the equinox, in waves, there's going to be the plasma light downloads, which leads to a lot of people experiencing the crushing headaches and not feeling well. A lot of people will kind of say, I'm not feeling well, and the need to rest will be there. There will be sleepless nights for a whole bunch of you, but pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities, the repetitive messages coming towards you, birds, animals, totems. Pay attention to them. If there is someone you consider your mentor, your coach, or a certain YouTuber who you watch for such guidances, pay attention. Even if the old reading suddenly pops up in your news feed, it has a message for you. All right. So I think it's become really, really long. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, and I hope that you found this useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below, and do remember to hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Love and light. I'm Nikita.